Back up here again. I like it. This morning we just want to take a few minutes to introduce ourselves, to tell you some things that the Lord's doing in RUF. While we do that, Aaron, would you help me? This is one of our students. Would you pass those out for me? And then we're also going to send around, don't feel obligated to sign this. We send out updates every 4 to 6 weeks about what God's doing on campus. And so we're just going to circulate this around. And if you're interested, then we would love for you to sign up. We promise not to pepper your inboxes with that, but we do want to give you an opportunity to see what God's doing. Let me introduce myself briefly. I didn't talk too much last night. We moved here 5 months ago. I've been married 13 years to Bethany. We've got 3 little girls. Lane is 8, Remy is 5, and Breck is 3. So we are tired. Our house is a mess, and we can clean it up when you come over. And so life is good. We love Boise. We live with my mother-in-law. Her name's Barb Ingram. I know she's in the All Saints ladies study during the week, and we've loved living here. So that's just a little bit about me. Alex, who a lot of you already know.
Yeah.
But
my name is Alex. I am from Georgia, but I moved here 6 years ago now to work with RUF. I was a member at All Saints for 5 years, and now I'm at Boise Pres, so it's good to be back and see a lot of you guys. So yeah, we're here to present about RUF.
So if someone were to ask you, well, what is rough? Which is probably what they would ask, because that's what our students ask when they first learn about us. But what is RUF? Here's what we would want you to tell them. We want you to tell them that RUF is our campus ministry. We want you to know that we are here because All Saints started this ministry. We are on campus because you continue to support us. We would want you to say, RUF is our ministry to Boise State University, and what they do is they reach students for Christ, and they equip them to serve. That's it. That's the beauty and the simplicity of what RUF is doing on campus, and it manifests itself in a lot of different ways. I'm going to talk about what it looks like to reach students for Christ, and then Alex is going to share some about how we equip them to serve. One of our new students, his name's Nick. Nick's from Southern California, loves dirt bikes and big trucks. He's going to be a mechanical engineer and wants to work on speedboats. He's awesome. He found RUF through social media and showed up and has been at everything we've done since then. Now, did Nick come because he's got a really big background of faith? No, actually. Nick's parents are divorced, and he's not ever really been in church, maybe once a year at best. But Nick heard the gospel and is hearing the gospel and is excited about the gospel. And so what we believe that when we hold the good news of Jesus out for students, God works. And we see that. And so, yes, we contextualize. We have social media platforms, and we eat lunch every week right in the middle of campus, and we go to involvement fairs, and we do all the things that embrace the culture of campus. But at the heart of reaching students for Christ is to show them Christ. And Jesus is at work in Nick's life, and we are so excited about what he's going to do in his life and how Jesus will use RUF to equip him. And so now I want Alex to just take a few minutes and talk about how we do that.
Yeah. So in RUF, we have 3 avenues that we kind of categorize how we reach and equip students. So we have large groups, small groups, and one-on-ones. Those are our avenues. And so as we think about equipping our students, RUF, one of the things that makes RUF unique is that we have a really high view of the church. We really encourage students to be involved in a local church. We want them to understand that RUF is not a church. RUF doesn't last outside of college, and we want them to be a part of the greater body, starting in college and beyond. So as they're in RUF, we have large groups that meet. Our large group meets on Tuesday nights. Jay preaches, we worship. They're kind of being trained to look for a body that preaches the gospel, that reads scripture, that worships together as a community. And then our small groups, right now we have a guys group and a girls group. They meet on Sunday nights. where they get to read scripture and dig deeper and get to pray together and walk through life together. So in that, they're being trained to look for community that's deeper than just surface level, community that really cares about them and walks through life together. And then in one-on-ones, Jay and I and Caleb, our intern, we meet with our students one-on-one. We have a lot of coffee dates. I eat out a lot for lunch. Caleb goes bowling every Friday with a bunch of guys. So we're meeting with our students. We're trying to connect with them one-on-one and learn, help them learn how to be pastored, what it looks like to walk with someone deeply and closely, but also to do that with each other. So we encourage our student leaders to meet one-on-one with other students and learn how to be doing that now so that when they're in the body later, they're doing that for their whole lives. I've had friends currently who've asked me, how do you teach college students how to do that? Because I don't know how to do that. So we think that those avenues are really important. And we've actually been really encouraged lately. We've gotten to see a lot of our students really participating in the life of Boise Pres. A lot of them were really connected with Brian. He was our pastor for RUF, and now he's the pastor of Boise Pres. A lot of those students have a vision already going into this church plant that they want to be in a body that's preaching the gospel. They want to be part of smaller groups and connecting with people on a deeper level, and they want to serve. So we have students involved in the music team. We have students greeting. We have students caring for the children, setting up before and tearing down after. So it's been really encouraging to watch these things that we're trying to teach them, help them learn, to have a greater vision for the church outside of RUF. A lot of them are seeing that. It's really encouraging. I'm going to share a story really quick. We had a student leader last year. She was a junior. So when Brian Fry announced that he was going to leave RUF to plant this church, she was really kind of angry because it was going to be her senior year. Things were going to be different. She really liked how things were, and she didn't really want to let that go. But really, really quickly, she had conversations with her friends, and she came back to me, and she was like, I was really angry, but I realized that Boise Pres will last maybe my whole life, and RUF, I only have one more year, and maybe Brian can baptize my kids. She got the vision because she'd been learning that, and at first she could be angry, that's okay, but quickly she saw that the benefit of the church for herself and her fellow college students, but also for the city, was really meaningful. So that was really encouraging to me to see that process through how she was thinking about things and even her future. So that is part of how we equip our students.
Just a couple of more minutes and we'll be done with our turn. I want to brag on both Caleb and Alex and the ministry that they're doing within RUF. Caleb is his second year of a 2-year internship program where he studies the Bible, he reads books on theology and ministry and counseling, and where he invests in the lives of our students. That internship program is one of the best things that RUF does. And so I would really encourage you to talk to Caleb and ask him really hard questions about theology and about ministry. He would love to walk with you and tell you more about that. In all honesty, talk to him about the internship program. I want to brag on Alex. Alex oversees our community group and small group ministry and doesn't just oversee it, but she recruits leaders to help lead those groups. She writes the curriculum. One of the things RUF is doing is we're trying to invest in women in ministry who are serving God's church faithfully in the PCA. And Alex is doing that, and she's one of the longest tenured campus staff we have in America. We have something very special here. And so talk to her about that. Let her, ask her questions that force her to tell you what she's doing, because she doesn't brag on herself. And I want to be a person that does that. So we're so grateful for what Brian Fry has done in starting this ministry, what Alex and Caleb have done over the past number of years as Caleb was a student. I just feel like I need to brag on them. All right, some ways that you can get involved. If you've got one of those handouts, open it up, and on the interior right-hand side, there's some ways that you can plug in. There's a little insert. This is something that we give new students, the colored insert, 4 things to know about RUF. We're trying to get them to stick around and get to know us. You can look at that. On our table, we've got books and various things to show you what the students might see on a Tuesday night. So they come in and they'll go to our welcome table and they'll see all these books. Some of those they can check out from us. The smaller ones we just let them take as they deal with hard things. We've also got candy. Our students' favorite candy is Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. I've eaten more of these in the last 4 months than I have my whole life. So grab some of those. Quickly, some ways that you can get involved. As part of the Treasure Valley, I think it's important that you know what's happening at Boise State. So I would encourage you to visit the website, to follow Boise State on social media, to pick up the newspaper and see if there's anything new going on at Boise State. For the last 3 years, more than 50% of Boise State students are coming from outside of Boise, which is outrageous, which means we have a beautiful opportunity here to then send people back to Northern and Southern California and Washington and around the world for God's glory. Number 2, connect us with current and future students. It's really fun for us to go and look at the pictures. We stayed later than anybody else last night, except for the person who was locking the doors. And we were looking at our students on the wall of Ambrose School from where they graduated from here. And Ambrose has been a way to invite students into RUF, but we know that this city is not just Ambrose. We know that there's other private schools and public schools and homeschools, and we want to be a place where we can invite covenant children in to equip them for the work of ministry long term. You can provide food for an event or a leadership meeting. There's more information. You can read that. We're starting up something new where we're going to have a private Facebook group for those in town who are interested in getting little short updates. If you want to be a part of that, you can sign up on that sheet and I'll invite you. And if you decide you don't, you can always leave and I will cry. Another couple of ways, let us come and share with your community group. Because of the planting of Boise Pres, I don't know many of you. And I would like to know you. And so if you lead a Bible study or a prayer group or a community group, Alex or I would love to come and visit and share about what RUF is doing so that you can know what God's doing in a small group context. And then also be a monthly supporter. There's information on the back about our needs and how you can do that. And we love eating out with our students and drinking coffee with them, but we also would love the opportunity to do that with you. And we'll even let you pay. Or we will pick up the tab if need be. We would love to get some face-to-face time with you throughout the course of the year. So thank you so much for starting this ministry. Thank you for being, as a church, our biggest supporter. And thank you for loving and praying for us faithfully. We really appreciate it.